Call of Duty Black Ops 7 settings. I'm going to show you the graphic settings real quick. Go to display. If you have two monitors or if you only have one monitor you're playing on and you're not streaming, run full screen borderless. But I have one gigantic monitor, so I have to run windowed to keep it in the middle for now. And then obviously turn your display resolution up. Use your graphics card for your display adapter. Aspect ratio, that's self-preference. 16 by 10 or 16 by 9 is normally what people use. This is a good setting to put a star on because, okay, we have to take one off first. Because on that setting, that's where you restart your preload shaders. Anytime you change anything on display, you have to restart it. But I'm going to try to go real quick through this. So display gamma 2.2, gamma brightness. This is self-preference. I didn't really change anything really, but I'd put it at least 60, maybe 55, 60. That's a good spot. NVIDIA latency on eco mode custom, VSync gameplay 100%, VSync menus off. Frame rate custom, and then you can set it up to as high as you want. This is also, you can lower it, do whatever you want to do with that too. Reduce menu render resolution optimal, and pause game rendering off. Reduce quality when inactive off. That'll make it so when you're streaming, if you don't touch anything for a while, it'll start lowering the quality. You don't want that. Focus mode 0. High dynamic range, automatic HDR calibration. I really didn't change anything in there either. Yeah, no. That's for darkness. The next thing I would recommend is the audio. Go to master volume, put it 100. I do not like gameplay music, but I did leave it at 2 so you guys can hear it a little bit. Dialogue, put it 80 so that you can hear your gun sounds and footsteps better. And turn everything else down. You can turn some of this stuff on. This is depending on what you use on your PC. Treyarch mix. The bass boost one does make the sound footsteps louder, but it also like has too much bass in my opinion in this game because I usually put the bass one on. Next, you want to go to what else did I want to show you? I guess you can go to controller. Here's my settings, 1.95, 1.80. I'm still messing around raising and lowering this one. My button layout, I do my own. I just put R3 as jump and melee as X. And everything else is pretty much the same term. All vibration off. I turned everything off in here. Controller vibration, you do not want on. It messes up your shots when you're shooting. Here's my dead zones right here I changed. These work pretty dang good. Do not lower your right stick, because you need to be able to have precise aiming when sniping. So keep this one high, but you can pretty much lower any of these you want. But when you put this left stick max, that means you barely have to move your left stick for it to actually go max. So that helps for quick movements, quick turns. Next, we got, actually, did I do the last one in aiming? Let's see. Yeah, dead zones. Yeah, we're done. Aiming. Here's mine. Sensitivity multiplier. I didn't change anything. I don't mess with that. This here, I didn't change anything on. You can put target assist on. Aim assist on. Motion sensor function behavior off. And then use advanced settings. I didn't even mess with any of this yet either. You don't really need to mess with those. Here's your movement. Sprint assist to tactical sprint assist, and then turn both on. Manual assist, you can turn it on so it saves you from falling and getting killed. Crouch assist off. Corner slice off. Wall jump. A lot of people run the wall jump with off, but I use on. It depends on what game mode I'm playing. I'll probably turn it off in Warzone and do it myself, but combat roll, I use partial. Everybody says off because if you turn this stuff on, you have delayed movement in the game from it, you know, thinking itself and doing it instead of you pressing the button. But I use partial because it'll save it from when I would die, it'll roll itself. Slide only, I usually use tap to slide, but like I said, if you used any of these other than hybrid, slide only, and dive only, it'll have lag in the game. It won't do it as fast as it normally would if you do it. You can put this off or partial, it don't matter. Sprint restore on, sprint slide, maintain sprint on. Parachute, I usually have this off, but I'm going to leave it on because they fixed it where it picks it up lower now, so you don't get pulled in the air as high with your parachute. Here's the other ones, pretty much the same. Movement advanced settings, there's mine. You can always pause on this short or video whenever you're doing yours, so I'm just going to put them up on the screen, give you a second. Then we go to combat. Here's mine here. And we go to advanced combat settings after you look at those for a second. I always put apply 1 because you usually get killed if you have apply all on because you can't shoot in between. You just have to remember to turn, put extra plates on if you put apply 1 on. And here's the rest of the combat behaviors right here. Some of these are so tap to interact is really good for Warzone, but tap to reload is also good for multiplayer and zombies. So that's a self-preference too. Toggle, I use this so you just click it and it stays on, and then you can use hold if you want for the scoreboard. Here's my overlay settings. It's up to you for these two. I always put everything at short because I click the buttons really quick, so it'll work faster. And that's about it. You don't really need to see anything else. You can turn your telemetry on, which is up at the top of the screen, your frames per second, your GPU. You can turn whatever you want on, but that's what I use right there. You can make them larger. Same with the, there's a lot of tutorial stuff you can turn on and off. There is one other thing. Where is it? I think it was I missed it under one of these settings. Where is it though? Why is it not? Oh, readability. Oh, I didn't click over. So it's in readability under interface. And you go to color customization. This is where you can change your colors to brighter colors. They also have it where you can click custom ones. That's what I did. Apply custom to make it as bright as you can. There also is color filters. They make their own filters where you can change the colors automatically, but it's better if you go through them one by one and make them as bright as you can so you can see. And then, there's some more for the reticles in the game, your gameplay HUD. This stuff really doesn't matter. It's all self-preference, but there's a quick look at mine. Crosshair lines, I made mine bright green instead of white. You can make them bigger, smaller, visual hit markers on, damage-based hit markers on. Motion reduction and motion blur, always turn those off. You want those off. Here's that one. There's really nothing. I use the angle. So this is for the dots where you can make sure your screen is set straight, but you don't need to do this. This is something you probably won't mess with at all anyway. But that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. If you have settings that you have different than mine, leave a comment. Let me know what you changed to make it better. But those are my settings. Thanks for watching.